What is up? What is up, everybody? This is the Bearded Browns podcast, and we are live right now, Tuesday, 7:30, like we are every Tuesday, but except if Mike is sick. Anyways, we are live right now, just because I wanted to pick on you, man. We are live right now. Wherever you're listening to, wherever you're watching this on, please continue to like, follow, share even. Let's get this podcast out there. Nonetheless, I'm going to start right away because we have a special guest with us today. Live with us is Rich and Jason from the Tuscarawas Browns Backers Club. I said it right.
Very good.
Give it up to the half Puerto Rican with his arms.
1 for 1. You might want to retire from
I'm done.
The show.
Exactly.
That's going to have to be a reel now.
Yeah. We are live with them today. They have a couple events they want to promote, but we want them on just to share, first of all, their Backers Club. So why not share their Backers Club information? On top of that, we just want to chat with you guys for a little bit. Is that okay?
That's fine.
Awesome. Yeah.
That's fine.
Awesome. No more, Jen said no more words. Awesome.
No more big words.
Yeah. So you guys have any socials you guys want to shout out?
Yeah, like I said, we just want to, the opportunity to come on, just tremendous size. We're a little tiny town in Tuscarawas County. We don't get too much, but just thank you guys for having us on. It's an honor, an absolute honor.
Oh, absolutely. Our biggest social media is probably the Facebook page that we have, the Tuscarawas County Backers, Browns Backers.
Cool.
That's what we do 90% of our communicating right now.
Nice. Well, how long, how did you guys start this Backers group? How long you guys?
It started in 2016. It was relatively small. I took over in 2025. At the time before I took over, we had maybe like 65 to 75 members. But in that little under a year time, we jumped up to 237 members. We're probably the third largest Browns backers in the state of Ohio.
Nice.
Really nice.
On to the team this year. Rich asked me to help out. I had a little bit of free time, and so I was able to, and it's been a great ride ever since.
What is
makes a dream work?
Yeah, it does actually. What do you guys do as a backers, lead?
Well, first of all, we want to give a shout out to Shenanigans Bar and Grill. That's our home base when we have our events. Usually we try to focus on just the away games because there's a lot of season ticket holders from our town. So we'll host the events, just watch the games. Every so often we'll try to bring a couple players down to watch the games with us.
Nice.
Cool. That is cool.
Okay, a couple more questions. Who is your favorite Browns player, present and past, or past and present? I guess that's the way you should say, right?
Well, for me, present, JOK. It's probably more Then my favorite player of all time is probably Mike Pruitt.
Which he's going to be there
in a minute.
Yes. And a funny story about Mike Pruitt. When I was in 5th grade, he actually came down to a football camp here, and I actually got to meet him. So this is kind of like a catch-22 to have him come back to Dover again. So it's going to be – I'm kind of nervous about it too. So.
Oh, okay.
How about you?
My favorite current would be Joel Bentonio. I'm a big lineman guy.
You kind of look like him with a smaller beard.
Thank you. I'll take it.
Yeah. Really bush that out.
Right?
Yeah.
But I was a lineman. My boy's a lineman in middle school football. So I love the big guys. They don't get enough love. And my all-time right now, Joe Thomas. You can't beat him. He went through so much stuff on that team and still wrote it out. He didn't go the easy route trying to get traded or leave. He just wrote it out and got to be able to get inducted for it. So
nice. One more question before we get into the event that you guys want to promote, which two events. By the way, I'm going to both.
Nice.
I'm taking my girls to the first thing and taking my girls to the second thing.
Very
so
nice.
It's going to be fun for me and my girls. So I'm excited for that opportunity. But the next question is, during the draft, the Browns draft process, who did you want them to draft? That's the first question. Then I'll follow up with my second one.
It's kind of difficult because we were at a draft party in Pittsburgh.
Rough.
Game.
Gross.
So it was bad. It was bad. I mean, I would like to have Travis Hunter because I think you're getting a 2-for-1 special. I mean, then after they traded him, I was like kind of shocked. And, what are they doing now? I mean, Mason Graham, unfortunately, he's from that team up north. So I guess we got to love him. But like I said, I was really hoping for Travis Hunter. Then, like, eventually down the road, I was hoping Will Howard. I was really hoping.
I think we're all on the same train.
I don't know about Jason.
Yeah,
Jason.
right off the rip. It sucked whenever we traded it away. Then all of a sudden it was like, oh, typical Browns move. We're trading away number 2. What bum are we getting for this guy? But as this thing wore off and the more picks came through in the second, third round, it sort of made a little bit more sense. But overall, I was very happy with the draft, with what parts we got. But I guess this time of year, every Browns fan this is our Super Bowl year, not necessarily, but,
Right.
but we're always in rebuild mode. And this is like, oh, this is our hope. This is the beginning of the season. We're rebuilding. We got this one by week 2 or 3. We'll see what we really picked up.
Nice.
Really quick, a friend of the show wants you guys to do something.
Friend,
He wants you to say Tuscawaras 5 times as fast as you can together.
Good luck, bro.
Yeah.
Don't do that. You might wind up saying a bad word.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Say T County. Easiest way to remember.
Oh man. Yeah, thank you guys again for joining us tonight. We were looking forward to this.
Yeah. Last question. Who do you think the Browns quarterback is going to be starting the season?
I think, to me, it's going to be Joe Flacco.
Yep.
Horrible answer. Next question. Next answer. I'm just playing. I'm just playing. I'm just
I
playing.
know, I know, Angel, you're a Kenny Pickett fan, but I'm just not a Kenny Pickett fan. Not at all.
99% of Clevelanders are not Pickett fans, so I'm okay with that. That's fine. They either want Joe or Shador.
I don't want to call out the bias, but they hate Pickett that came from Pittsburgh. They were nervous about Mason Graham, who came from Michigan. They wanted Will Howard, who came from Ohio State. No bias. No bias.
Not at all.
Group at
Not
all.
at all.
Make a good point there, Chad.
Well, how about you, Jason?
Same thing. I want Flacco.
Flacco?
I was there on that Thursday night game when we locked in the playoff. Magical game. He's a veteran, former
40 years old, if you want to call him a veteran, sure.
Yeah. If you can do it at 40, what can I do at 40? Huh?
I tell you right now, I'm 43 and I can't do much. So
he gets discounted breakfast at the practice stage.
I love Joe Flacco, and I hope he continues the magic ride he had last year. Oh wait, he did throw 2 picks in the playoff game that made us lose, but we won't talk about that. So let's go move on to the event that we want you guys on for. First event is a event with Hanford Dixon and Stump Mitchell. Yeah, we're
cool. Wrong one.
Yeah, Legends Youth Football Camp. You guys want to talk about that?
Yeah, basically, like I said, I know you guys met Roe Goldstein before.
Awesome dude. Yes.
Then I mean he's the one that spearheaded us all, and we just wanted to give something back. I mean, I grew up in Dover. Then, like I said, I talked about when Mike Pruitt came down, and the influence it had on me, and we just want to give something back to these kids because Dover, Ohio, is a super 100% football town. I mean, hardcore football. Then just give something back to these kids, and having these 2 guys come down. It's just great. Plus, it's a free camp. It's not costing the kids nothing. You come down, meet 2 legends, and I think it's going to be great for the kids. It's not just open to Dover; it's open to surrounding counties. We have people so far from Akron coming down, Cleveland,
Cuyahoga County, Strongsville, Ohio. Shout out.
So it's going to be a great event. I'm really looking forward to this.
Yeah.
And just stuff we can do every year.
Yeah, I'm really excited for that event in particular. I really talked my daughters into it. I said, y'all like football, right? Y'all guys want to learn how to run routes? And they're like, what is that? I'm like, you just like it. You're just going to go for Father. Yep. Happy Father's Day to your dad. This is what you're going to do for me.
That is really cool.
I did tell them they can win trophy, and my oldest one was like, I'm in because I want to win a trophy. So I convinced her to go that way. So I'm excited to go down there.
What we're going to do with the trophies, we're going to give out 3 MVPs, the age groups, and what we're going to do, we're going to have autographed jerseys of Hanford Dixon. to the kid to the MVP. So.
Oh, I'm going to start training her tonight. You ain't going to bed. You got school tomorrow? Oh, well, you got to be training, dog.
I'm shaving my beard. I'm going to be at that camp as a 6'6" kid.
Like,
13 years old, this guy.
All right. The next event, which I'm really excited for, as a podcast, we're going down there. If Chad was here, he would be with us. We'll have like a I don't know, like a picture of Chad next to us, maybe.
Yeah,
we're going to go down there. You want to promote the Legends Bowling meet and greet?
Yeah, so this is our biggest event Tuscarawas County Browns backers have put on by far. Normally it's 1 or 2 people. So in total, we're going to have nine people being there with Mike Pruitt, Greg Pruitt, Felix Wright, Anthony Griggs, Travis Tucker, Dre Donovan, which is a local boxer. He just won a belt. Clayton Callender, he's a local band member. He went to Dover High School, and he was the drum major for the Ohio State Buckeyes the last 2 years. And then Ralph Hawley may be there, and special appearance by Ray Mancini. The biggest thing with this is
awesome. That's awesome.
Bringing these people down to our area that we haven't seen for probably 30-something years since we had any type of any athletes come down, make an appearance. Part of this proceeds goes to the Dover Youth Football program also to help them with equipment or whatever they need. So we really want to tie into the community sources there. We're going to have 50-50s there, raffles, food trucks, memorabilia will be there. Our raffles, we have tons of stuff we're raffling off, anywhere from Jim Brown autograph memorabilia to Will Howard signed jersey and a lot of stuff in between. Our general admission's $5 just to get in. We're going to have some super fans down there too. And then we have a autograph bundle for $50. You get every athlete appearing one autograph, and your general admission is also included in that. So it's just a really good opportunity for our community and to bring the family down, meet some athletes, talk football, get ready for the upcoming football season. And this will be at Wabash Lanes in New Philly.
Does this place have chicken wings?
Unfortunately, no.
We don't.
No. Oh, Ralph is going to be upset.
Go to one of our watch parties. We'll have the wings for you.
Ralph, all you can eat. Mason Graham.
Well, I know.
Sorry, Ralph.
Yes.
That's what I heard because Ralph likes the wings. That's what he told me too.
Yeah.
He likes his wings.
Yeah, we had him at our draft party. What a great guy. His family is amazing as well.
Yeah,
So
got
it's going to be a great
couple
time.
times. He's such a humble guy, very humble, so relaxed. Really looking forward to him.
Good dude. Good dude.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
The thing too is just meeting everybody we've met in the last 6 months. We've got to talk to so many people in the community that I can't wait to meet you guys. A couple other people we ran into through the video, text message, or whatever. But just that the Browns community itself is such a cool community to be a part of, and to be able to make a big difference in our community also.
Now we're happy being Browns fans. Can you imagine winning a championship, being a Browns fan, and how happy we'll be then? Like, we're miserable together now, and we're kind of happy.
That's why we all like each other. We all understand.
It'd be crazy.
That'll get you to Cleveland, Chad, will it not?
I went to Cleveland for the Cavs. This was so fortunate. Like, the Cavs were down 3-1, and I bought a plane ticket to Cleveland to watch the last 3 games. I just had a hunch, but I was down there when they actually won, and downtown was getting like just bombarded with people on the streets. And after it was all over, I was like, I cannot even imagine after seeing that,
it would be crazy.
what this entire it will look like downtown, like straight through the entire like northeast Ohio area to Columbus. Like,
Yeah.
I was like, I can't even imagine if this is that much hype, like what it's going to be like when the Browns finally pull it together.
I mean, like Jason was talking about, just all these guys we met, I mean, like I said, you guys will get a chance to meet them, but they're just such real guys. You look at them on TV and I mean, this guy's going to be, hard to talk to. But like I said, both Pruitt's and a big shout out to Felix Wright, because he's the one that helps us get this going. If it wasn't for Felix, we probably wouldn't have nothing here today. But Felix is like, I know I just had a phone call with Felix one time and it just escalated.
Awesome.
So it's very good. Excited.
That's how it was for me and Stump Mitchell, man. Me and Stump had quite a few long conversations, and that dude's awesome as well.
Oh yeah, actually, I had Stump Mitchell in my basement. So
What, did you kidnap him? Like,
Yeah.
what?
I've got him there right now.
Look.
Back there.
Yeah, because actually, Stump Mitchell was the first person we ever had down for our Browns backers event. And I said, Stump, you want to come down and see my man cave? Yeah, I'll come over. He signed
And
my
he never
wall.
left.
Yeah. All right, I will. Stop here a minute.
Oh man.
That you guys got to have him over, and yeah, he's a really chill dude. It's cool that you guys have some of like our guys on these events, because it's just like so sweet to be connected between like Browns fans, players, ex-coaches, like just expanding the community a little bit.
Yeah.
Like I was talking to Angel, like it'd be my pleasure to have you guys talk to Mike and Greg Pruitt, Felix, to have them come on your show as well. There's, like I said, they're such great guys to know, but I'll make that happen for it.
Yeah, that would be a huge blessing for sure for the show and for us. I am excited to meet them in person. If anything, that would be a great opportunity. Maybe we can do something live, not live, but recorded down there.
Okay,
with the guys. Something short, nothing too long.
Oh yeah, they're more than happy to do it too.
Cool.
All right, again, one more time, they're going to promote their event. You got Legends Youth Football Camp happening June 13th. It is free, ages 6 to 14. This is a free event.
Oops, I did
Down
it
there.
again.
It's fine, man. I forgive you. It's free. You get a free T-shirt, a skills competition, and if you win, you can get an autographed shirt or jersey signed by.
Don't even mention that. It's mine. So
Hanford Dixon himself. So all the old dads are like, my son's going. He's going to be knocking girls over. The second event is June 21st at was it Wabash.
Oh,
Lanes.
come on, that's harder than Tuscarawas.
My gosh. Lanes is happening from 12 to 5. You're going to meet tons of players and local athletes. Just go have fun. Lanes $30 for single lanes. You say you could pay $5 just to get into the event?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So just get into the event just to meet people. You can see us, and the dogs are going to be there, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, the dogs podcast is going to be on there.
Yep.
So just come and then enjoy meeting your fellow Browns family.
Yep.
Be an awesome time. Thank you guys for coming on today. Tune into their socials. I'm sure if you need to be reminded, they're going to remind you with the flyer. It's on our page, the Bearded Browns page. We share it constantly on my page personally.
Yep, looking forward to it.
Rich, I want to thank you for letting Stump out of your basement to go
That's
to
all right.
this.
That's all right.
That's where he was when he was on our podcast.
No problem.
You need better internet. No.
Yeah. All right. Thank you guys so much.
We'll see you guys on the 21st.
All right, go Browns.
Appreciate you guys.
Go Browns.
Have a good one.
Wow,
That
good.
was cool.
Yeah. Wow, good job to them, man. They grew that bounce backer pretty quick, huh?
Real quick.
Pretty quick.
It's a very big area, but it's cool to have heard how fast they mobilized that from their whatever they said 60 people to 200 and something like.
Yeah, it's insane.
And from
sometimes it's just like bringing the group together, like posting and like getting the word out there.
Right.
Yeah.
Like you said, it started in 2016. He took it over, and that's when it kind of just grew that fast in that short amount of time. And now they're like the third largest in the state, man. It's pretty sweet.
Did you start yours, Chad, or did you take it over?
So there is a San Diego's so we're broken down an umbrella of the Southern California Browns backers, and that makes up like the Los Angeles ones, the Orange County ones, and then the San Diego has the San Diego's Central Browns backers. And then I started the first like satellite off of that for the beach cities going down the San Diego beaches. And so I started the beach Browns backers with a buddy of mine. And actually it took us like 3 different attempts. We tried to get it started one year at one bar, and then it kind of, we were just building it the next year. We tried it with more like set location, like a little more officially. And like halfway through, we just did not get it going with the bar. And so we kind of bailed. And third time's a charm. We got the bar set up. We got the group like more set up, more official, more signed on. And yeah, so we signed on. We just collab with the like Central San Diego group to it. And that's a pretty big backer. You guys would be surprised for being so far across the country, like how many people are in the San Diego Browns backers, and then ours is just like a second like satellite of that. We're smaller though. We only have like 50 members to our specific location, and we only get like 20 or 30 people per week. But it is a pretty small little like beach dive bar.
And for all you guys that don't know, we actually got Chad. I believe it was Instagram. He messaged us, and I messaged him back and said, "Hey, come on the show one day." And Sam came on the show Chad came on the show one day, and it worked out, and now he's stuck with us. I have Chad in my basement in California.
Yeah.
Also, me and Coach Stump are just like
stuck forever. So, guys, on to some big news of the day. Mason Graham signing a 4-year, $41 million deal. The only people left to still sign is Gabriel and Junkins. But they're still at practice. So that's a good thing, unlike the Cincinnati guy who's not practiced at all because he's still waiting to be signed.
Got a holdout. I was told it is just a mix of like some language in the contract. And I guess it's not a worry. There's 30 total second round picks who haven't signed yet. So Carl Schlesinger is actually one of only 2 second rounders to have completed their signing. So I thought that was kind of unique. There's more first rounders signed than second rounders, but that's just how it goes. So apparently it's a language thing. Same with Harold Fannin has also not signed, and same thing. It's a language thing. They were able to get, or I'm sorry, Harold Fannin signed.
Yeah, I was going to say that. I think he did.
Dylan Gabriel did not sign, and they're both being third rounders, and Fannin actually being picked earlier. It's just a matter of like the way you work out the language. And I was told specifically, since he's a quarterback and there's kind of a quarterback competition, they're trying to make sure the language like fits so that he can make sure he's okay. Yeah,
so I mean they'll get them signed hopefully before minicamp, right? I mean they normally the Browns are good for that.
Not many holes anymore because like there's though there's language stuff, there's still it's so much more structured than it used to be 10, 15 years ago.
So, I mean, credit to them. I mean, there's protection in the CBA that if they get hurt, they still get paid anyways. And during this time at OTA, so that's why they're there. So credit to them for being there. Also, too, I mean, you're a 3rd round pick. You got to be there. You know, I mean, you don't want to be like playing your. Miss any time. Yeah.
That is my daughter. Competing. She says, "Hey, Pookie."
Both those guys are competing not only to like get their roster spot, they're competing to try to win competition.
Yeah.
Carl Messenger's obviously picked high enough that he can get himself on the field early, but there are veterans in the room. And of course, we know the quarterback story. So he's not going to miss a practice if Shador is there. This is not going to happen.
Yeah. So OTAs also started today with no media, none. Other than the Cleveland themselves, the Cleveland's media, the Browns media is there doing some shots, which is
shots.
Well, I'm sorry. Shooting with the camera. Shots.
That's what I was thinking.
No, there's a couple of things I did notice. I noticed one, Flacco throwing to Thrash and Pickett throwing to Judy.
What wide receiver would you say? The first one?
Thrash. But the reason why I say that is if you do based upon pecking order receiver, is that how they did the quarterbacks? Pickett with the number 1 receiver in Judy and Joe Flacco with Thrash.
Flacco with a fourth
round receiver. So that's the way I looked at it. Now that's me looking too much into it. I know I'm understanding, but I understand that. But at the same time, I'm thinking, well, he did throw it to Judy. He is a first string receiver, so maybe that's how they did it today. Now tomorrow it might be different. Maybe having Flacco flipping it. So we don't know. It's something to watch. It's going to be interesting to watch OTAs. I'm sure everyone down there, whenever the media is going to be counting reps, who's throwing 60 for 60 for 5,000 yards and breaking rookie records.
And again, there's going to be media there, so we'll start seeing our clips. But exactly what Angel's talking about, like like what do you gauge from this? So for everybody that doesn't know, just the description of OTAs. Like their off-season phase 3. Phase 1 is the vets coming in to begin workouts, weigh-ins, medicals, all that stuff. Phase 2 was essentially post-draft to the rookie minicamp. Phase 3 is when the veterans come back and combine with the rookies. It's still voluntary now. There's no pads allowed, no contact allowed. They are finally allowed to go out on the field because phase 1, they're not allowed on the field. It's just workouts and rehab. So now they can go out on the field as a full team, and they can do 7-on-7s, even 11-on-11s, which is silly because the linemen, I always think it's kind of funny to have the linemen out there like not actually able to do contact drills. But
it's going to be good to see, though.
It's going to be all shorts, no pads. They're allowed to add pads if they want for the first mini camp coming up, but this first OTAs, that's not the case. And I thought I was told that the OTAs can only include up to 10 sessions, but I don't know for sure.
Rich just came on and said, "Thank you, guys." Stump left the building.
Let him out.
That's funny.
Let him out.
We free coach.
So yes, I want to ask you guys all this honest question before we jump into the real quarterback nitty gritty talk here. Starting with Sam. Sam, really? Oh yeah. We'll get back to that. Sam, who do you genuinely think is going to be this Cleveland Browns starting quarterback week 1?
I heard
he's got very shuck internet right now.
He's too early to tell. I'll tell you who it's going to be.
Go ahead.
How it's going to be. It's going to be whatever veteran outduels the other veteran. That's going to be your quarterback.
True.
And that's just how it's going to go. Flacco comes out slinging and doing better than Pickett. It's Flacco. Pickett comes out doing better than Flacco. It's going to be Pickett. And I think the younger guys are going to be sitting back and soaking in information, and that's how that's going to go down. So I want the best out there. Like the offensive line said, they want the best out there to compete. So I want the best out there too, whether that's Kenny, whether that's Joe. We'll have to see because them guys are out there. They're not trying to ride a bench. So I'm wanting to see how that goes down. That's going to be
for sure
something we'll be paying a lot of attention to. I want to win more than 3 games. And if you want to win more than 3 games, you put your best guy out there. That's just how it's going to go down.
I agree with that.
100%.
100% facts. How about you, Chad? Just right now, who would you want?
Yeah, Sam is the fence a little bit, but he unfortunately has the right answer. It's going to be just whichever veteran can win out. I honestly if I had to peg who I thought they were wanting to push for the starting job more, I think probably Pickett. And so I'm leaning Pickett right now because I think that's a better case scenario for them. So I think that's the type of guy that they're going to give more reps to and the more opportunities to succeed.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking leaning slightly Pickett.
Yeah. Well, I'm
Angel, you don't even have to answer. We all
pretty
know.
much all in Pickett for multiple reasons. I'll share in a little bit, but also too, like what Flacco already gave us what he could give us.
Ron Kenny Sanders.
I will say,
isn't that Colonel Sanders?
Kenny,
if they had stopped at Gabriel and they hadn't drafted a second quarterback in the draft,
Flacco,
I would actually be very higher on Pickett.
Yeah,
the fact that they grabbed a second rookie, far for me because now Pickett becomes a little bit more expendable.
Facts.
Because they've got a different veteran and 2 guys. So if you had asked me this like after the 3rd round, I would have been like, it's going to be Pickett. Like they really want it to be Pickett. They want him to succeed. They want him to be more than he's been at Pittsburgh, and that's good for everybody. But then when they picked the second quarterback, all of a sudden Flacco slid back into the starting potential.
Yeah,
Pickett is now a movable commodity. The way I see Flacco starting is they move Pickett. If Pickett's on the team, I think he'll be the starter in my opinion.
Yeah, I had the same thought process with you when he's Pickett. That's the only thing I'm worried about is because if he's playing too good, now he has value, right? So you can be like, well, we did trade a 5th round, so we at least need that, right? So if you could get that back, then you're like, it's a win. But I'm hoping Pickett because I already know what Flacco can do. Flacco threw me out of a playoff game. Flacco is 40 years old. We know he's going to get what we're going to get out of him. I would like to see a Kenny Pickett in this offense, and you'll find out more why later. but I'm leaning toward Kenny Pickett. I'm leaning with fear toward Kenny Pickett because what you just said is if he does have value, they're going to trade him and keep Flacco, of course.
And Mike, we know, is going to take Sanders. So next topic.
Mike, you take Sanders?
I just bought a plane ticket to California. I honestly, I agree completely, wholeheartedly with Sam. It's going to be the best veteran that you're going to see for at least the first 5 weeks. And if the bridge tumbles,
it's going to have to do after the bye week. You can't have him play Pittsburgh.
4 or 5 weeks, you're going to see either another veteran or possibly a rookie, I believe. If there's horrible play.
True. Yeah.
Once the season starts, like it's anyone's game on how well the guy actually plays, but
true.
Listen, hold on one sec. They're all out there fighting for a job. I don't know if you guys heard this, but Kevin Stefanski was in a press conference and he said, quote, all four quarterbacks are going to have a chance to fight for this job. An hour later, he went on ESPN and said all 5 quarterbacks are going to be fighting for this job.
Because somebody corrected him after and was like, hey,
absolutely.
We have 5.
We're not going to say the name of the 5th quarterback because we're going to try to get through one show without saying the name.
I
forgot about that guy.
We're doing good, so let's keep it rocking, man.
He's like, I forgot about that guy, that 5th guy.
This
we
guy
got to
right here.
Yeah,
doesn't even want to say the name. So let's see if we can go one show.
Mary Kay did mention that like he is officially in the rooms right now for meetings and film, and like he has been talking with the rookies about like, how to break things down. So he exists,
muscles
he
and
exists, but he can't play.
Oh, sorry. Break other things down like plays, not massage therapy.
Right.
I gotcha. Not muscles.
I'll just refer to it as walk, 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 walk.
New Harper, best throw of the day, Shedeur Sanders.
To a third string receiver on a third string defense. But anyways.
I seen him throwing to some tight ends today. I did see that.
Yeah, I agree with that. But nonetheless, we'll move on. Let's jump on to the Chris Olave trade speculation. Locked on Saints, Ross Jackson's thoughts.
Media on at least I don't know how it's going on the others, but on Twitter, on X, this has been like a topic for
a couple months.
Like it picked up huge the past, I'd say like 2 weeks. That's why I thought it was worth bringing up.
Really quick, I'm gonna mention one thing. If I hear one more person say Chris Olave, I might throw myself out the nearest window. It is bad. I watched a video yesterday.
Doesn't know what that guy's last name is.
I don't know, but even somebody fixed them on the YouTube video I watched and said Olave, OLAH. Never mind.
The quarterback that I don't want to mention probably thinks he's a hand moisturizer.
Yes.
Or olive oil.
Thank you.
Oil belay.
Olive.
Olive. I like it. Chris Olive.
That is fun.
So anyway,
so I think I saw on
story, is that there's been a big trade speculation, and basically it's this drive of like, well, the Saints are probably worried about his concussions, and he's like coming up to the 4th year of his deal, so they'll want to move him. It is kind of like the impression I get, and so a lot of people think the Browns should be interested. There isn't any confirmed report that the Browns are interested or have that I've seen or have actually inquired, but that has been going around, and that's not uncommon, I don't think, for the Browns not picking up a receiver in the draft to be like exploding into this this trade rumor. And then I happened to hear an interview from Ross Jackson, who does the Locked On Saints, and essentially he gave his thoughts on it. He said in his following of the story, he actually hasn't heard or isn't able to confirm that the Browns have even inquired on Olave. What was really interesting was he had brought up he did know for a fact that the Steelers had inquired about trading for Olave. So that kind of does, it does mean that teams are reaching out. He does, though, think that the Saints are not interested in trading Olave, and the only way he could see it happening is the Saints have a terrible start to the season and basically are looking to get assets before the trade deadline in like some kind of a tank situation. But he doesn't see any reason why the Saints would bring in a young quarterback that they want to see what he can do and then trade the absolute best target on the team and just set him up to fail, which I agree with. Like this is one of those situations. I think teams want Olave. I think teams think the Saints should want to get rid of Olave. I don't think the Saints want to get rid of Olave. Olave is a first round receiver who has done first round things already. So
agreed. I wouldn't mind having him on the Browns, to be honest, but I don't think it's
having him on the Browns.
Right. I think it's just reckless speculation.
Mm-hmm.
So
I also heard from that interview one more thing is that Ross Jackson was saying his expectation from what he's heard is the Saints are looking for a second round pick and change in order to get Olave. They're not looking to give him away. They want a legitimate pick.
Yeah, I saw an X. Someone did a trade machine. They did a third round and Newsom because everyone wants to get rid of Newsom. Everyone wants to get rid of Newsom for him. And I guess that worked. I may have flirted with that, but I am worried about his concussions.
That's second round capital.
Yeah,
you're trading, but according to Ross, like they don't want second round capital; they want a second round pick and more.
Yeah, and
that don't see happening. But
yeah, the Browns ain't going to trade their second round pick for someone. I mean, I am worried about his concussions.
You look at them getting Amari Cooper for a fifth rounder, then they get Jerry Judy for a fifth rounder. To think that they're going to give a second rounder up for somebody after that, makes it tough.
It's real tough.
They weren't going to give a second rounder for Ayuk either, I don't think.
Yeah, I agree.
So, in closing, probably not going to happen, everyone. Sorry.
Better luck next time.
Mm-hmm. The bummer. I'd love him.
So Angel is dying. He's been dying, I think, for 2 weeks now.
Yeah. Actually, it's been a month on my phone notes, but yeah, 2 weeks. Because I've seen the trend going this way where Kenny Pickett will be I saw it in the beginning. I said, don't be surprised if he's going to be a starter. And it's trending that way. And a lot of people are already saying things about him that doesn't make sense other than his hands. But I do have an argument that I would like to present to my fellow podcast friends, if I may, of how Kenny Pickett can be successful regardless of his 8-inch hands in this system in which Kevin runs. You have to understand that Kenny Pickett came from Pittsburgh Panthers, in which they ran the same system that your coach is currently running. So that gives him a leg up. Okay. In that system, his last year in college, he had 4,319 yards, 42 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. That's great, right? He did this at Pittsburgh Panthers, by the way. He finished, and not too many people are talking about this. He finished third in the Heisman. Did you guys know that? Or were you mind blown too? No, now you do. Okay. So he finished third in the Heisman. He also won the ACC Player of the Year. That's pretty good, right? Because if you say that's nothing, but yet you like Shador and you bring up the fact that he won the Big 12 Player of the Year, you gotta line them up same to same, right? They run parallel. He also won the ACC Offensive Player of the Year. So did Shador won the Big 12. Despite his small hands, was the only thing focused during his draft process. The question that I have, that what was the difference between his output on offense in Pittsburgh compared to what happened when he went to the Steelers? And the only thing that you can come to the conclusion is the offensive coordinator sucked. Okay. So you have this offensive coordinator, Matt Canada, who did not utilize his ability to run the play action. Now, with play action, you're able to disguise your offense to read the defense, right? So Kenny's good at that, right? So he didn't do that at all. Matter of fact, he only ran play action 5 plays a game when Kenny was there for 2 years. 5 plays a game. And he ran this weird offense where he would be in shotgun and have Kenny Pickett just throw it to the sideline and pray that a receiver catches it. Yeah, Kenny went from playing a play action sender to a shotgun, throw it up to your best receiver and pray that he catch it type of offense. Second point, this Pittsburgh Steelers offensive line sucks. And that no one talks about that. When he was there, it was ranked 21st his first year. Pickett with the Steelers had an average throw time of 2.31 seconds. So he had 2.31 seconds to throw the ball before he was sacked. And because of that, he was sacked 27 times. Okay? Now, this is what I'm saying. Second season, offensive line is a little better, ranked 16th by the end of the season. He had 2.66 seconds time to throw, but still was sacked 23 times. So in 2 years, he was sacked 50 times, and he had 2.66 seconds to throw, which ranked 29th at the time in the offense in the NFL. So what's the difference between 2.31 and 2.66? I'm throwing a lot of stats out here for you guys, but I'm proving a point. In 2022, Kenny threw 9 interceptions, but with 0.35 seconds more the year following, in 2023, he only threw 4. You give this guy more time, he will process the defense, and he will make the right read, and he will hit the open receiver. It's shown that he can do this. Mike, can you please cue up the video of Kenny Pickett running a play-action play while in Pittsburgh? 1 of 5 that he did during the game for some reason.
16 unanswered. Pickett to the end zone. Fairmouth touchdown.
Play action.
Play action. That looks familiar. Matter of fact, it looks so familiar. Mike, play the other video, please.
Oh.
That's the end result.
Well, here's the beginning.
Here's the beginning. So you have Baker. Play action. Rolls. Throws. Wide open.
Beckham. That's a 50-yard difference.
So no, it is. Here's the deal, though. Here's the deal, though. Matt Canada did not trust Pickett to do that. That's why he did not call a lot of play action. He played a safe, conservative for 2 years. Matter of fact, I talked to a Pittsburgh fan that said that himself. He said, I was hoping that Kenny would come back under the Arthur Smith offense because I think he would have done better because him and Kevin kind of run the same offense. Anyways, so he threw 4 interceptions the second year was in Pittsburgh and he got traded. If you give him more time, he can throw less picks. He can process the defense better and hit the open receiver, make the right play. Okay, last point here.
Ian is still on Deontay's crack, dude. It's so funny. I'm sorry.
So the reason why Kenny failed wasn't just Kenny's fault. It was because the offensive line sucked and the offensive coordinator did not know how to use them. And we've seen this multiple times throughout the NFL. You have Jared Goff go into a new place, new system, becoming successful. You have Sam Darnold last year, highly touted. New system became successful. So I think you can do that with Kenny Pickett. I know that's a lame argument, and I get it, but there's a possibility because it's happened before. Last point, 2020, 2021, the Cleveland Browns ran the 10th most play-action pass plays in the NFL. But guess what happened? We got a different quarterback, and we went away from that. We ran this RPO offense, and it just messed everything up. I'm not saying his name. So here's the good news, Browns fans. We are getting that system back. And Kenny Pickett has been running it successfully in college. He can run it the same system here. And here's the good news. He has better talent here than he did at Pittsburgh and in college. So he can be successful here. And Kevin, play action over the years he's been coaching. By the way, Mayfield and Kirk Cousins, 30% of his dropbacks are play action. So this fits Kenny better than any quarterback on the roster currently. That's including Joe Flacco. And because the rookies really haven't ran it yet. So I am excited because this is what I see. When I saw Kenny Pickett, I saw, hey, this guy can become the quarterback for now, not the future, for now. And hopefully the 2 other young guys can duke it out. And lastly, for the record, Kenny was 14-10 in Pittsburgh. And he has 7 come from behind wins. So half of his wins were last second drives. So this guy has some, something there that you can ignite and still win, regardless of the size of his hands.
Yeah, by the way, Coach has talked about that. Of course it was going to come up. But Coach specifically said, I don't care. I think it actually had to do with this draft because I'm trying to remember who was it, Jalen Milroe or somebody had like initially smaller hands, and he he specifically said, I do not care about hand size. What I care about is protecting the football. So if somebody has small hands and they're constantly fumbling, problem.
Yep.
If somebody doesn't constantly fumble, I do not care. They obviously know how to handle it. So we're thinking about.
So you put Kenny Pickett behind an offensive line that's going to be good, that's switching over, and two good running backs where you limit. And by the way, he threw many, like there was like 10 games I counted that he threw 40 times. Like, why are you allowing this dude to throw 40 times? That's insane. So you don't allow him to throw 40 times. You give him that 20, 25 rep range and just run the ball. You can be successful. Marcus, so who has a better coaching staff, the Browns or the Steelers? Browns.
On
Answer that
offense,
question.
well,
Browns on
offense, I think everybody around the NFL would say the Browns.
Browns have a better offensive coaching staff.
Ever since last year was a nightmare, but for the most part with Stefanski here, I think people are going to go Browns offensively.
Yeah, I agree with that. Tomlin is an awesome coach, but Kevin's a better offensive mind, and Pittsburgh doesn't have anybody. Coach. Yeah. Kenny needs a higher range. No, all I'm saying is I'm not like, I think me and Chad said it Saturday. We're not saying he's going to come in and be Sam Darnold. But what I'm saying is, this is what I'm going to make a bold statement here. If he plays just as good as Baker Mayfield, they can win 8 to 9 games. And in this system, he can become Baker Mayfield.
I mean, for me, I don't even need to aim very high. Like, look at.
That's why I did Baker Mayfield. I didn't aim high.
Do you think Kenny Pickett is some kind of far drop off from Jacoby Brissett?
No.
You think Kenny Pickett, who came out of the first round, whose record is 15-10, who on a good team with the Eagles last year put up one pretty good game in his only action, like, are we looking at him and going like, he can't do anything close to what Jacoby Brissett could do for this team? Like, come on. That's where I'm at, is like, I think he's a better quarterback than Jacoby. Mm-hmm. And so if he can just be that, then yeah, he would be a lot better than he was in Pittsburgh. And he's got a shot.
I listen, I'm not a big I feel like people are misinterpreting me defending Kenny Pickett like I'm going to buy his jersey, right? What I'm saying is the only argument when people say, and I ask them, I was like, why don't you think Kenny Pickett can play? Well, he has 8-inch hands. All right, let's move past the surface level stat of his hand. Yeah. Tell me what else can he do? Well, he throws too many interceptions. Well, why does he throw too many interceptions? I don't know. Well, maybe because if you look into it, the offense he was running did not suit him. It didn't. It just didn't. He's a play action. You have to move around the defense so he can get the position, read the defense, and then he can throw it to the receiver. Kevin is perfect at that as an offensive coordinator. He's going to put them in a position. Matter of fact, this is why I'm excited about Shedeur, because I think he can do the same thing with Shedeur, where he makes Shedeur even better than what he was in college, because I think Shedeur is smart enough to read the defense and he can throw it to the open receiver.
I mean, I've heard similar to that, like guys like Todd McShay was one of them. I've heard several who said like Shedeur has a certain skill set where he could be hit or miss in the NFL. Where I would love to see him is playing somewhere with this type of scheme. Specifically, it would be great to see him with Kevin Stefanski. And I do get the idea that maybe Kenny Pickett is that. They're not the same prospect, but maybe Kenny Pickett is that similar kind of player where what he does well might be in the type of offense that we would prefer to run. So,
yeah, I mean, I understand people are going to hate on it, and that's fine. But stats are stats. He was in Pittsburgh. They ran the play action 23% of the dropbacks. That's 1 every 5 plays, a little over 5 plays, 4 plays. If you don't do that, and that
stuff is real. Like, yeah, I've been a big believer in reception perception. I love what Matt Harmon does, where he basically breaks down a receiver and says, here are the things he does. A great example is Elijah Moore. Here are the things he does the best. When we look at each of his receptions, here's the ones here's the routes he's the most successful on. Here's the coverages he's most successful on. And then they specifically can point out, this is absolutely not what this team is doing with him.
Exactly.
The same here.
And that's exactly what Pittsburgh was doing with Kenny. Now, would he have been it probably would have been better. They probably would have went further in the playoff if the offensive line and they would have played calling according to his strengths. I believe in that. Now, is he a top 10? No, 10 to I would give him 11 to 17 top quarterback, and you can win with that. Yeah, I will. In Kevin's offense, he can be. He did it in college.
I'm gonna go smoke some crack with Deontay Johnson.
No, what I don't understand is the same people who are advocating for Shador is the same people that are dismissing Kenny Pickett. They are in some ways the same quarterback. They have to have a system in order to be successful. Do you think Shador can be RPO type of running quarterback? No, he can't do an RPO. So you're going to put him in a play action where you can move around the defense and he can dissect it. Kenny is smart enough to do that. He did it in college. It's not a fluke. I'm telling you, he can be 11 to 16 top quarterback.
Angel, I
think if anybody can run it how you want Pickett to be ran and the system for him to work would be Dylan Gabriel.
Dylan's
all day.
That's why they picked him first.
Well, my only thing, I guess I'm on the fence with Pickett fence, however you want to look at it. But,
nice pun, nice.
No, hang on. But
on the Pickett fence, I love it.
Angel, I'm listening, and I'm listening, and because when we first got him, my first thought was not even small hands. My thing was, so Mason Rudolph is better, so they're going to keep him. Obviously, Kenny was not. So it's like, why? If Kenny was
Kenny wanted out. Kenny wanted out.
Well, I get that, but it's how's he going to come here and then just all of a sudden turn into this magic pony, dude? I just don't see it happening.
People said the same thing about Sam Darnold last year.
That's why.
What is Minnesota going to do with Sam Darnold? Now, JJ McCarthy said Minnesota's season's over because Sam Darnold sucks, and Sam Darnold blew it up. Why? Because he was in the right system at the right time. Now, I'm not saying Kenny's going to be Sam, but I'm saying just to sit there and say this guy's poop because he played at Pittsburgh poopily, telling you, don't think that way.
You said Kenny's not going to be Sam, and you said poop in the same sentence. Are you talking about the roofer with Crohn's?
No, not the.
Oh, the other Sam.
The other Sam.
That's always good product.
That's all I'm saying. I
think if I don't know. I just can't see him being that rollout guy. I just don't see it that much. I think
he did it. He did it in
actually
college.
Sit around.
He did it in college. That was his offense in college. He
just
did it successfully. Successfully, I just showed you
10 times faster. These one play. These blitzing DBs are way faster than them.
I get that, but he still did it. He actually outran DBs in college. Do you remember when he was running and act like he was going to slide, and then they changed the rule because of him?
Listen, I love arguing this.
I can say this. I know, Sam. I know you're a big Flacco guy. He's faster than Joe Flacco. He's probably faster than Shador Sanders. He's
more athletic than you think.
Gabriel.
Yeah, he's athletic, and it's the reason why you didn't see it is because Pittsburgh did not utilize that skill set. I'm telling you, if you go look at the tape. I looked at the tape. I'm like, why is this guy running this type of offense? I looked at YouTube for the last month. That's all the tape I can find. Sorry. If you could give me all 22, I would love it. I don't want to pay for it, though. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, they shortchanged this dude. And I don't be surprised if he does well in the preseason. And I know it's just a preseason, but that's where you want him to be good so you can trade him, right? And don't be surprised if he starts off good and beats Cincinnati game 1 because their defense sucks.
Like Ron Rattle said, though, apples and oranges, college and NFL. We've talked about it numerous times. They're two different games. But I get it. Coming into a different scheme could change things.
I think they're two different games, but I think the point Angel's making is
the
scheme he ran in college is the scheme we run, and that's
currently. That's my argument. People are not seeing
RPO
that.
Or wide.
He ran a pro style offense, and we're running a pro style offense currently.
But listen, here's the other thing. I get that, but you've been on 2 other teams since then.
He's been on one team because Philly he was a backup in Philly.
But he was still practicing with their
but
setup.
You're gonna play him over Hurts?
Their scheme.
You're not gonna play him over Hurts.
But
he was hurt, and he actually beat Dallas and scored 40-some points.
My thing was, if Flacco's playing lights out all training camp, you're not going to play Flacco. You're going to play Pickett?
I disagree.
I don't know if they're going to just bombard Flacco with the type of reps.
So you
that
think
he
they
calls
should give
out
Pickett a
all
chance just to see if he's going to
100%, because I already know what Flacco can do in the system. He's going to throw you one pick for every 2 touchdowns. He's going to throw you out of a game because he's done it 3 times when he was here. I feel like we have a fantasy Flacco obsession. Like we have this obsession of like where he did that year was great, but he got beat out by Anthony Richardson in Indy, and Anthony Richardson can't even throw.
I think Flacco is the most known commodity.
If Pickett can't beat out Flacco, the old man, I'm gonna tell you that right now. In minicamp, he's garbage.
No, I agree with that.
True.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Not good in camp. Yeah, that's
thing
true.
is, if you can't beat Flacco out, 40-year-old Flacco in minicamp,
he's garbage. 100%.
You're busted.
You better try to get a 6-rounder for him.
I don't think that. Yeah, I don't think that's.
I would like to see the dude actually be successful. I don't want nobody to go out there and fail. I don't think that. For me, I can't see Kenny being the guy that's going to take you to more than 3 wins this season.
No, come on. So you're saying the quarterbacks last year are just as good as Pickett?
Yeah, that's where I'm at.
You got to give him 5 wins at least. Give him 2 more wins.
Flacco will win you more.
Sure, yeah. Flacco can.
Let's separate a little bit. How are you over the last couple of years with like Pittsburgh's offense? Or like, have you been highly impressed with Pittsburgh's offense? Or mediocre, bad?
Yeah.
I'm just kind of trying to break it down. Like,
no, they're mediocre at best.
Hey, do you remember that song in South Park, Blame Canada?
Hey, Mike, if they're mediocre at best, and Kenny Pickett went 14-10 in Pittsburgh, 7
with that offensive play calling,
why do you think he's going to be so much worse in Cleveland? Like, why do we think he's going to get worse now?
With the better,
he was 14-10. He went to the Eagles. He's 1-0. Why do we think in Cleveland he's going to suck? Like, is this a Cleveland mentality? Like, well, we're Cleveland, so he'll suck here because he didn't suck enough to lose.
He had a winning record in Pittsburgh. He left Pittsburgh with a winning record,
which is something we haven't seen here at quarterback to forever, which is the only reason I have any faith that he could do anything. And I'm not that high on him either. I don't think I'm as high even as Angel. I'm
not as high as you guys think. I'm just stating.
Pretty damn high.
No, I'm not.
Somewhere between 15 and 22 for me.
Let me ask a question. This is something that I don't know. Maybe you guys can help me. Okay, I'm asking all 3 of you guys. So when he was in Pittsburgh, how was that rollout game? Did Tomlin?
They didn't know. They didn't. That's what I'm telling you. They didn't do that with him.
Do it at all.
Did nothing. They 5 plays a game. 5 plays a game.
Okay, so now we know that he did great rollout game in when? College, right?
Correct.
Okay, so in college. So we really don't know if he can produce what we're talking college, we're talking NFL, Angel, all right? So
correct.
Now and you know Stefanski, I mean, we can compare how he did well with Baker with the rollout system. So if I just don't see Kenny being these guys, these defensive ends, these blitzing cornerbacks, these guys are going to come at him so quick. I don't see him escaping that. I see him getting confused and then running for his life. And then you want a small guy running around with a football? Well, I already got small hands.
Small hands. Sure. No.
First of all, he's not a small guy.
Yeah. No, small hands guy. Well, small hands guy.
I meant small hands guy.
Yeah,
running around with the football out there loose like that. I don't think that's what you
want.
The
guy's 220 pounds.
I would agree. That is scary, Sam.
I'm not talking. I was talking about it. I meant his hands, not his stature. I mean, he's 6'3", 220. Okay, but you want a small hands guy out there running around with a football on bootlegs?
That scares me.
I don't know.
I'm not gonna lie to you.
That's kind of scary.
New Harper, yes, he did roll out. You're right. 5 to 8 times a game. I mean, go look it up. Look up the offensive play calling. It's online. They'll give it to you. How many times they ran that offense where he rolled out?
Right?
Yeah, bootleg, which is 5 to 8. The most was 8 times a game. Matter of fact, Matt Canada called the same plays multiple times. That was the biggest issue with him in Cleveland. I'm just speaking from Pittsburgh fans that told me, hey, he called the same pass play 8 times against San Francisco. He called the same run play 8 times against the Raiders in 2023. I don't mean to cause a huge drama here. I'm just saying.
Oh, we love this.
Let's not. Let's not. My argument
I'm all
is
about it, man.
I'm not as
We
high.
all
I know.
always agreed on everything. The show would suck.
I'm not saying that he's.
Go ahead.
I'm not as high as him as you guys think. What makes me passionate about it is when people's argument is, well, he's going to suck because he suck at Pittsburgh. When you look at the tape, when you see the system, and when you understand it, and when we just step out of the fan mindset and look at him as a system quarterback, which is it's a good thing to be a system quarterback, he may surprise you. Now, I may be wrong, and I've been wrong many times. Ask my wife. Yep, she's shaking her head yes. I may be wrong, but what I'm saying is I feel 51% of me is going to be right. And I want you guys to know, don't be surprised if Baby Hands is doing pretty good on your offense if he's on the team. I agree with you. They might trade him because he's more valuable than Flacco. And they might, Shador and Dillon might be great. And minicamp, they're like, dude, we can't sit these guys for long. We have to get rid of him, start Flacco for a couple games, and let these two battle it out. And that would be a great thing, by the way. But I'm just saying, let's just stop with the small hand analysts.
For me, it just has to do too, like on top of what Angel's saying. Like for me, like I said, I'm not quite as high on him as Angel is, but I'm not far behind. But I look at like even some of the comments, like Harry says, "Dude runs like Testaverde." I'm pretty sure Kenny Pickett ran like a 4.740.
He did. You guys are
And
underestimating his athletic ability.
Kenny Pickett's relative athletic score was a 9.5 at the combine. Anything over an 8 is considered a very good athletic score. So it's like people have these like ideas in their head, and but just because I'm not sure why actually, because like they just don't match. It's just like they have the idea like Kenny Pickett. If I can be honest, like I think people are like, well, he's white, so he's probably not very fast. He's pretty fast for a quarterback. He's not a burner, but like he runs an okay 40. Like
let me bring you back to a bowl game that he was in, and they had to change the rule where he was running, and he was outrunning cornerbacks, and the cornerback was in front of him, and he acted like he was going to slide, but he was like, and then he turned the burn around right away. Tricked that defensive back.
Like Harry Clark said, he runs like Vinny Testaverde.
I'd never seen I can't remember Vinny Testaverde running. I'm a Kozar guy.
Say Tuscawaras. No.
Tuscawaras. No, but we'll close it here. I don't want to spend too much time.
No. Really quick.
Tuscawaras.
He did it.
No,
I have one more question for you guys. There is a possibility that one of these quarterbacks get traded. It's possible. We know this, right?
Yeah.
We all know this. One of these guys has the possibility to get traded. I think it's unlikely because we watched 5 quarterbacks start in 1 year. What is your guys' opinion on a quarterback, whether it be the rookies or one of the vets being traded? What do you guys think? Sam, start us off, man.
I guess it's all about necessities. If there's something you need and you can gain something from somebody, I would say, why would you not? If there's a market for somebody, if there's a market for a Pickett, or if they go, hey man, you know what? We got these two really good rookies. But maybe we can build with them, keep a Flacco around, and then trade a Pickett. And if you can get some stock for them, and then you make that trade. And that's just what you do. That's part of the game. It's part of the system. It's part of the business. I wouldn't just start throwing guys around to get rid of them. I mean, if they're producing, then let them produce. Like my whole thing on this, where I stand on this whole thing is it's not going to matter until we actually see who beats who in mini camps and training camps. That's where it's going to say, this is what it is. This is the way it's looking. I mean, we'll know more. I mean, but right now we can all just hope for the best. I mean, like I said, I don't want Kenny to go out there and fail. I don't know. I would hope that his age, he should be able to beat out a 40-year-old running or a quarterback. So, and it's going to say something if he don't. So now if he goes out there and he don't, then that's really going to push him down.
For me, that's just easy then. Like, if that's the case, you're just like, he can't outperform like Flacco and or the rookies. You just move.
That's what I'm saying.
First of all, if any of the rookies outperform him, you can probably also move him because you don't need if a rookie's gonna get a start over him. Well, then what use is he? He's on a
Right.
1-year deal, and
Like
so
you guys all kind of said, what if, this has been a scenario is if you run a Flacco out there for 3-4 games, he starts playing kind of shabby. But we already know one of these rookies, whether it be Gabriel or Sanders, is locked in, and you're like, fire away and let that kid play. Then you do that.
Yeah.
And then there's no stock for Kenny then. I mean, then that's would be your trade.
No, I agree with the Kenny being traded, but it's like a catch-22. I'm hearing people saying Kenny's not that good, but he's the one going to be traded.
He's not that good. I don't think any of us think he's that good, but is he good enough to perform
Be
this
traded?
offense? I mean,
Yeah.
they went and got him. They gave up a pick
lot of
for him.
that will be.
I will go. Go ahead. Sorry,
If he can play better than the rookies. I mean, he's obviously got to beat out Flacco. Okay, that's a hands down thing. We all agree on that. But if he's not shining over either rookies either, then like I'm saying, man, then I mean, where are we looking at with Kenny? You're not really looking at him too much then anymore.
Right. Yeah, and we'll know that later. That you're right. I mean, like there is no arguing that if he doesn't outplay Flacco and the rookies, he probably is gone. But I just think like people are underestimating the change of scene after seeing it over and over with other teams and other quarterbacks. They're underestimating how the change of scenery could utilize the skill set that got him drafted in the first round in the first place.
Sorry, Angel.
No, Harper just said he's a good backup quarterback and a borderline starter. After you told me he's not that good, which one is it? If he's a good backup, then he's a good quarterback because a good backup is what you need in this NFL. But anyways, another point here that I want to hit on is this. Kevin and Andrew Berry interviewed him at the combine when he was coming out. They're very well diverse in his game. That is why you need to watch out. That's why I'm leaning 51% because I think they invested draft picks in him. They dumped up DTR even though they believed in him. And they already know what he can do. They saw his college tape. And they're going off his college tape. They're not going off what he did at Pittsburgh because they know if he can do it in Pittsburgh, which is the same offense Kevin is running, he can do it in Kevin's offense. Pickett has tiny feet too. Hey, listen.
Size 7 women's cleats.
He can be size 7 women's cleats and 8-inch hands. And if he can give me 11 to 12 wins, it's all water under the bridge.
Angel, I am so glad you got to get your Kenny Pickett thing out.
He's been waiting.
God, it's dormanted. Now I
feel
like,
better inside now.
I feel like Jello.
You feel like weight's been lifted off.
No,
your
I just wanted to bring some insight to people who are just using what I call surface stats with hands and cleat sizes. Like, let's go a little deeper. Let's go a little deeper with Kenny. All right, and look beyond just what he did at Pittsburgh. And the only way you can do that is what he did at college. Now, I get it, Sam. You're right. It's been 3 to 4 years since he did it. But the good news is he's going into a system in which he was comfortable with 3 or 4 years ago.
Okay.
I agree. I do agree. I mean, I like the fact that the kid has potential. And in this scheme of things, he might be the guy, but he might not be. I mean, that's the biggest thing. We're not going to know anything.
I changed New Harper's mind. There you guys go. I did it. I'm done. Talk to you later.
I will say so, and here's a weird take too. Off the Pickett thing before we move on. A really weird take I heard recently was, I don't want Kenny Pickett to be too good because then the Browns would have to re-sign him.
I saw that on X,
quarterback next year, and I'm like, so you don't want him to be good because they're like he could have a Sam. They're like, I actually believe he could have a Sam Darnold year, but I don't want that to happen because I don't want them to have to get rid of somebody good because I want them to draft somebody next year. And I'm like, if he wins those games, they won't move on from him because the Vikings would have never moved on from Sam Darnold if they didn't already have a first rounder, top 10 pick in the room. That's why they were able to move on from Sam Darnold. But if the Browns had a Sam Darnold year out of Pickett, which I'm not predicting, I'm just saying if they did, according to this account, then that is the best case scenario. You have 2 first-round picks next year to grab an offensive tackle, maybe a wide receiver, and then you just go. Like, that's what they're praying for. That's why they picked him up, because they're like, please let this happen. But to not want that because you don't want him to be good, because you just want to draft a guy next year is weird.
This is insane.
Weird.
This is what's wrong with Browns fans. And I kept this up, Mike, because this question is just silly to me. Do you want to waste a season on Kenny Pickett? I'm not going to waste the season if it's a winning season. It's not a waste. A waste to me. No, it's not a big if. If they make the playoffs, if they win a wild card game, if they go to an AFC championship, if they win a Super Bowl, is that a waste? Now that's high. I'm not saying
almost only counts in horseshoes.
No, I'm just asking. Is it a wasted year if Kenny Pickett lights it up to the point where they make it to the Super Bowl? They don't win, but is that a wasted year? No,
that's not.
Is it a wasted year if they get the division and they had their first home playoff game since 86, 88? No, it's not a waste. So you don't waste the season. And guess what? You have good news. You know by week 8, by the bye week, if he's going to suck or not, or even Flacco, for instance, then you just dump them and start the rookies. You're not going to waste a season on anybody. You got to find out who you have. And I want to win. I don't care who it is. There's no such thing as a wasted season unless you have 3 wins.
That's where we vary from most people. A lot of people are like, I want to win, but under my circumstances. Like, I know so many people that hated Baker, and they're like, I want to win, but I want Baker to suck so we can get rid of him, so that we can get another guy so we can win with him. They just want to win like
with their guy. In the case in point, because you just said, this guy, New Harper said the next year quarterback class is going to be completely overhyped. We don't know that. But at the same time, I agree. That's why I want to win. Like I want to win one of the 4 guys that are my roster. Yeah.
You just don't know. The Browns could pick 13th and the Jaguars could pick 10th, and you miss all the top 3 quarterbacks in this class too. Like, you just don't know.
Yeah.
How it's going to work out.
And no, I don't know if they're going to make you don't know how the schedule is going to play out. Last year, we thought we were going to have 8 to 9 wins, 10 wins. Well, at least me and Mike did. 10, 11 wins. But it didn't work out that way, right? Last year,
Chad moved down to like 8.
Yeah, last year,
7 or 8,
yeah. Last year, the Commanders were projected to suck with a rookie quarterback. Did they suck? No. You don't know. Just because the schedule looks hard now doesn't mean it's going to work out that way.
So now you're play a rookie. Now your story's changing. No, I'm kidding.
No,
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
No, I mean, I want to win with whoever. If it's Flacco,
and rookie earns a spot, that's the only better scenario than Pickett being good. Is one of the rookies earns the spot and looks good, and then you're like, oh my gosh, we did it. We found a cheap option for the next 4 to 5 years.
And then hopefully you get the good.
At the end of the day, we all want these guys to do better than they did last year. And you know what? And I think who deserves that too is a lot of these offensive linemen, man. I'm thinking of Batonio. You know, he's coming up. This might be his last season, man. Can he have one more good role, man?
Yeah.
Can we get him out there and let him do his thing, man, and give him a quarterback
back
to put up some
point
points
a little bit, right?
And I don't care if it's Pickett, Flacco, Sanders. I'm down with Gabriel. I'm down with that. But you know, like, I'll stand on it too, man. Like I said, we got a lot to see here yet because we have not even gotten through any of this training camp. So
Sam, your point,
that's where I'm ready to see.
Your point kind of goes on that track though of like, is it a wasted year just because you don't keep the quarterback? Is it a wasted year if you move on from the quarterback that got you wins? And to me, I also think no, because after 2023, the fan base was excited and like ignited. The players weren't complaining about anything. A wasted year was last year when you were absolutely miserable and multiple people in your locker room are like, I don't want to be here. That's a wasted year.
Yeah, that's horrible.
The players mad. The veterans don't want to be around. A good year, even if it's not consistent good year with a young quarterback is the best case scenario. But a good year, even with somebody like 2 years ago with Flacco, is good for the organization, good for the culture, and much better. A wasted year is just a losing year. Just a sad losing year with no hope. Any winning year or year where you compete is not a wasted year. Not for this team.
Yeah, I agree.
No, right. No, I agree with that. And like
I just don't like that term.
You want these guys, like I said, these guys. Batonio, I will say this: I keep going to Batonio, and I'm not in his head. I'm not Joe Batonio, but I would think that, hey, man, I want the best guy out there. Yeah, and that's what's going to happen in training camp, and that's going to be the guys. Yes, they like Joe Flacco. They already know what Joe can do. Yes, they want to see what Kenny can do, but they want that best guy forward to protect, to take them to some victories.
And I
what
think
it
that's
is,
the
man.
reason that Joe will get less reps in training camp, because that whole locker room already knows what he can do. That coaching staff knows what he can do, and he needs the reps the least. In fact, it might be good for somebody 40 to not have an over-exhaustive amount of reps in training camp, which is why I see him as the type of person where you can literally make it through halfway through August and be like, these guys aren't it. And that's when all of a sudden I could see Joe starting to get more and more first team reps to get his rhythm with the receivers going, and then just go, because you already know he can step in at any time and just go. My nervousness with him is the same thing it was when they let him walk. He's older, and he essentially has a ceiling where he just isn't at a point in his career where he can beat the best teams anymore, but he can beat the bad and mediocre teams, and usually will. And that is something that's better than what we just talked about last year when you were just reeling and you had no hope of really competing.
Sorry, Angel, I'm jumping the gun.
No, you're good.
I do want to say something real quick. I know we got to get off here, guys, but we're going to have something to look forward to in the preseason. We're going to see all of these guys play. So there's a crucial aspect to that for all of us. We could judge ourselves while seeing them actually in pads, playing a real football game. Yes, it's preseason. You're playing second and third stringers. We get that. But at the end of the day, it's football play. It's NFL play. You're playing amongst the elite. I'm looking forward to that. No matter the circumstances, whoever Kevin decides to call quarterback, QB1, even QB2. Again, we saw 5 quarterbacks in 1 year. So with this Cleveland team, it's undoubtedly gonna be another interesting season coming forward. So all you guys, share, like, subscribe. We're all always here. We are always giving our opinions. Today we had great arguments.
Dude, I love it.
All of us.
I feel better now. So next week I'm just gonna be chill.
Yeah, Chad, I thought I was going to have to return my plane ticket and just go to Angel's house and smack him for a
riled
second.
up. Angel's all riled up.
But I'm with Sam, man. Best man win. If he can't win, he can't win. If Flacco wins, if Shador wins, if Dylan wins, guess what? We have a quarterback that's going to win, and we're going to have shows every Tuesday where we're having Victory Tuesday shows. I'm happy with it.
And at the end of the day, man, we're all Browns fans, and we want our guys to do great. I want to see some wins, man. I want to see a better season than last year.
I like a better disagreement better though. For content purposes.
Yeah, we're gonna have some good reels coming out this week. If you guys missed the show, man. That's what I like about all 4 of us here. We all hate each other but love each other. Love hate.
Well, yeah, I don't know about
everybody's got
Sam, if you ever bring ice on a show again, and Chad, if you ever bring dill pickle chips on a show again, there's gonna be problems, but we'll get past those. I promise.
What about caps?
You really got ice? Oh, I thought that was ice. I didn't hear it.
That would have been funny. That would have been fun. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for commenting. YouTube was on fire again today. Appreciate the love on YouTube. Follow us on YouTube. We're trying to hit that 500. We're about 121 away from the 500. Trying to hit that before the season starts. Follow us on X. We're over 500 on there. How many we're at right now? 5 something?
536 or something.
Follow us on X.
But it's climbing finally.
Yeah, Facebook. We're on Facebook. We're on all of it. Instagram, man. We put out content daily, maybe 2-3 times a day, and we'll just throw in content. Interact with us. If you disagree, we love a good conversation, as you can see.
Absolutely.
And as always, make sure you guys check out our site.
Yes,
Angel and myself and the other guys on the show, we all write content for you guys to read for players, old, past, new. Everything's there. Ton of fun stuff on there.
I'm actually working on a potential receiver to look out for during training camp. I'm working it. I'll give it to you by Monday-ish.
Sweet.
Go have dinner with Kenny Pickett. I wish, man. I'll have dinner with him any day. TikTok too. Yeah,
you guys can eat a bunch of Whoppers.
I recommend finger food.
Sam, Chad and Sam last week with the mini finger, dude. That was priceless. You guys are both like,
those old commercials. If anybody knows, man, them old commercials were funny, man.
Yeah.
It just happens. That was the old Burger King commercial and the huge Whopper and the guys with the small hands. But Hey, man.
Shout out to JB's Tavern, the Tavern of the Bearded Browns podcast in Brook Park Road in Parma, Ohio. Give them a follow on the socials too. Let them know that we told you to stop by to get some of their French bread pizza, and they had some bourbon there. I don't know if it's still there. There's probably is still there, but it's very good. I forgot the name of it. Local Cleveland spot, but give them a follow. Yep.
Also, guys, remember we have a big announcement coming up here soon, so always stay tuned and watch the show. Huge announcement coming up soon.
Huge,
it's going to be great.
My large, great announcement. Absolutely.
Grande,
Yes.
as Angel would say.
Hey, we're
Grande.
You really can't roll your tongue.
Tuscaroras. It's 5 times I did it.
You win a prize. With that being said, good night, everyone, and
Good night,
go Browns.
Go
See y'all Saturday. Go Browns.
Peace.